was pretty hectic.
We know it's a little hectic school year, but this was really traumatic this year. So that ought to tell you, you should have left well enough alone.
Standing room only, but take a look, folks. Standing outside, parents and school bus drivers who couldn't get into JCPS headquarters tonight. It was a full house for the very first school board meeting since the transportation disaster last Wednesday that had elementary students and others getting home at 9:58 at night. So they watched the meeting right on their cell phones.
That includes what were the leading causes of this. So yes, we can say these root causes.
Listening for word of a fix, only to hear that things are still coming together as JCPS will take elementary and middle schoolers back to school again on Friday. This is the top story here on the WHAS 11 team. Hi, everybody. I'm Doug Proffitt. One of the voices we're hearing from tonight as well, a school bus driver standing right there outside the meeting, telling us even if her route goes perfectly, she still won't be home until 8 o'clock at night. Using Superintendent Marty Polio's words when he insisted last week that he was a dad first.
He's a dad first. We're parents too. And right now we're not able to see our kids. And that's what my son says. I miss my babies. I do. And with this new schedule, I'm not going to be able to see them like I used to.
The top headlines out of this meeting: that bus tracking app may not be ready to go now until early next week. And the school board wants an independent audit of just what happened. WHAS 11 team's Taylor Woods and photojournalist Ian Hardwitt covered the anger and hope in the room. Taylor?
Well, Doug, JCPS Superintendent Dr. Marty Polio presented a plan at tonight's school board meeting. His presentation included solutions to increase communication support between students, drivers, parents, and staff.
I was mad, confused, perplexed, upset, but the worst of all, I'm disappointed.
A packed house at the Van Hoos Education Center. Parents, staff, students, and community leaders waiting to hear answers about the first day transportation disaster.
I'm disappointed that we didn't follow through on what this board was told was going to happen as we move forward.
District 1 board member Diane Porter spoke on the behalf of her district, where a student got home very late.
Since 1975, when the two districts came together, to my knowledge, we have never had a student taken off the bus at 9:58 p.m. This is unacceptable.
JCPS Superintendent Dr. Marty Polio presenting what they've been able to accomplish since the mess. A key fob will be placed on students' book bags so the bus driver can make sure the student is on the right bus. This Friday, staff members will make sure the elementary and middle school students know their bus stop and numbers information. But a new bus tracking app may or may not be ready on Friday, instead looking more like next week.
Or it can have notifications in the afternoon that the bus is entering the neighborhood so that the parent knows that they go meet their bus. We hope to have that ready to go. At a minimum, it will be early next week.
As far as a long-term plan, Dr. Polio says an internal audit team would be beneficial to keep track of analysis and leading causes of current systems the school system is using. But board members want an outside independent review.
I think it would go a long way in order to help foster trust to have an outside agency do that audit, because when audits are done from the inside, they often tend to paint a more positive picture.
The crowd waited patiently, then parents had their say.
Our kids in our areas need support. So when we talk about equity, is busing our kids really equitable?
The root cause is basically what the two people before me said. If we could make the schools equitable, you wouldn't have a transportation problem like you do.
In the end, it came down to accountability. Everyone wants it, but how to rebuild the lost trust between drivers, families, and staff?
The question is, let's get it going and let's make it work. Our children deserve it, our families deserve it, and our bus drivers deserve it, teachers, principals, and everybody. This is unacceptable.
Now, JCPS still continues to collaborate solutions with Alpha Route, T-Mobile for their bus tracking system, and UPS to review routes. In studio, Taylor Woods, WHAS 11 Night Team on your side.